Good evening and welcome back to Underrail. Hope you're all doing well today. Once again, we are continuing with our perhaps not so friendly or correct means of solving problems. But one does what they must, yes? And anybody... one might see me. Oh! Huh. That actually explains a fair bit. I can neutralize two of the bigger threats without getting anything alerted. I'll take it. Okay, you can just walk over that. Okay. So we want to try and get over there. Without alerting them. Everybody's spread out like this. We could totally clean up shop, actually. Let's see. Yeah, no, I think this is very much doable, actually. Large Snake Man Scale. A large scale from a mutated native of the Black Sea, worth 2 oddity points. Don't mind if I do. And now we are 30 out of 60. Can just barely make out the shallows. Okay, so this is where that would have taken us. Before anything, let's recharge our gauntlet. We will need the charge. Let's see if we can't just go right up to their psionics. Peekaboo. Very nice. I guess come over here and bait them out. The biggest thing here, actually, what's their full duration? That is a 4-turn duration. Okay, well, now that's no longer as big of an issue. Okay. I'm gonna come over here, pop Uncanny, and then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, come on over here, buddy. And then pop the Adrenaline, which we have gone through at a worrisome rate. And 1, 2. Really? There we go. Yep, that is it. Ironically, by loading the area up with bigger threats, they actually just made it safer. The stone with a skull-like visage carved into it, its runes remind you more of wounds than writing, and furthermore, appear to be freshly painted. The fourth snake fetish. We are now done collecting snake fetishes. I believe this would just connect back over there as well, but let's verify. Oh, then again, there were two segments. Oh, okay, I did not realize that was traversable. Alright. That explains that. Charge our stuff back up again. This next one's going to be a really rough one. Ooh, oh, really? Well, this might as well be a death. Do I even have any more grenades on hand right now? Those sea worms are going to be a big issue, but I can actually hit them. Huh. I guess we'll wait it out and see what happens. Didn't have to wait very long. So let's try and get as far back into the cave as possible. Oh, did that actually do it? Huh. We'll pull back a little bit more. Pop uncanny. Yeah, come right on. Alright, so others are very clearly doing something. Okay, so he did activate and follow. Oh you can totally see, can't you? Yeah, at that angle. I don't think this is going to go super well. Oh yeah, it's not going to go well at all, actually. Alright. Oh. Is it only a chance? But now I'm going to be CC'd and therefore won't be able to do anything, which means the rest of this is just going to be a hot mess. Yep. Rip. You know what? We'll be right back. We'll be back right after we grab some stuff. And welcome back. We did a quick little trip back to our house to pick up some supplies. Wouldn't you know it? I went ahead and tapped into stuff I was saving for the end game. 'Cause why not, right? Coincidentally, I did check something else, and I will show that off in a moment as well. Probably shouldn't have done that one, but yeah. How much health y'all got? 350. It's not entirely likely, but that's the kind of output these babies can put out. And we might be out of range. We are out of range of the sea worms. Oh, never mind. Far enough out of range, I guess. So we'll give them a second. And I guess we'll pull back. You know what? We're just gonna completely retreat because I don't think we can line of sight. But if we move far enough back, he won't have any AP left. So, oh. Limited time increment. Completely worth it. And we dropped the other one. Unfortunately, not much we can do about that. We're probably going to die again. Oh, there was more. Really? Ah, you fools, you've made one grievous mistake. That's that I'm a coward. So these two should naturally go away. But now all of the humanoids should be right there. So we can probably just wait everything out. But, yeah, I went ahead and grabbed those. Being able to drop one at range is just too valuable. Plus, kinda need something to deal with that many sea worms. We need to wait out those stacks of mental subversion. Go ahead and recharge. And for that matter, ourselves a little more oomph. But this is way more manageable if you have ranged combat just readily available, but we don't. Alright. So what we're going to do is open up evasive, canny. Oh, they did not go away. I'm a little bit surprised. Ow. So, it's a little bit shocking that it didn't, but okay, I was kind of hoping to take both of them out. But either way, threat resolved. Oh. Ah, and there he is. Our actual target. Might have been better to wait on the grenade. Well. And of course, twice? Y'all are just rude. Jeez. I bet I didn't bring the one item that removes inhibition. Hmm. And I can't get out now. Woohoo! Well, we're probably gonna die a terrible death. Yup. Better result. Those two are so far off that they are completely off screen, which means I should be relatively safe. We'll see what happens if we wait over here. But of course. And then they should both go away. Okay, no, this should actually be much better. Okay. Is it scummy? Yes. Super. Did it work? Also yes. And then just wait them out. Okay, are we good? As good as we're going to be. That's a rocky start, but, hey. With any luck, we can just waltz right to the other end. Some quality leather. Basically, a little more of everything we've seen thus far. But if it wasn't clear, this is basically their religious center. Black Rock Totem. Suspended at the center of a giant coiled snake skeleton is a piece of incredibly black rock. Its blackness, however, seems both more substantial and emptier than a mere lack of reflected light. It's like a gaping wound in the fabric of reality. So we are not doing number 2? Touch the rock. It feels smooth to the touch. It's neither cold nor warm. Alright, I guess we will then. Reach out for the monolith with your mind. You focus your mind on the monolith and the experience is unlike anything you've known before. All the thoughts you direct towards the monolith are swallowed by its darkness, and you are left dazed, confused, and with an irrational sense of dread. There's a few ways to resolve these. I'm going to be standing in favor of waiting for one to come right to the edge and punching it before immediately running away like a coward. Well, I say that, aren't you? Yeah, they're submerged. You can't actually get away with that. Oh, their every attack does it? Jeez. Alright, here's what I'll do. Take care of that real quick. See, that one should... Okay. Both of them should be targetable. Okay. So they are, in fact, quite sturdy. Can we not reach this one? Oh. Okay. Well, that's about to get rough. Yep. Okay then. Well, if that's the case, nothing a little plasma won't fix. Okay. Can I attack you? I think I can. We're gonna do that. Really? You know what? We may just come back for them later. So the Oyensorm, or their high priest, basically, has the dream catcher. The web captures your good dreams, and the hanging fangs inject you with the bad ones, worth 4 oddity points. And there it is. If you were playing a psionic character, this would basically be your go-to. Crit chance, crit damage, overload damage, dot on your neural overload. There's a lot of good stuff there. You know what, actually... What if we come over here, bait them out, oh, am I too far away? Oh, it must have been line of sight. If I could force them all into one little spot. Eh? Eh? Not what I meant. Go over there? Oh, okay. So... Okay. That should deal enough damage. Not quite. Oh well. Oh, I'm still in your range? Y'all have... Alright, well, that's dead then. Yeah, we'll just come back later. We got the Dreamcatcher. So the interesting thing that I was going to point out... Yeah, the fact that that's half an hour of the video was one room, though. Jeez. Select a channel. Yohota. Interested in enemy activity, over. Savages. Not much activity lately. Much fewer moving lights and boats as well, over. What that means is we've hit the threshold. We are now basically able to do what we want in regards to them. We will still come and finish things off, of course. There's a few good reasons to do that. But there's one item I want to have on hand before we go and wrap things up on the other expanse. I did, however, bring the jet in a bit closer this time around. Oh. Oh, wait, no, the one in the door in the shallows was actually up there. But we could, you know what, actually, let's call up Yohota again. It's the ferryman. Okay, so not over here. Muty Island. Okay. There's one other important area to hit up, but we need crucial information before we can just casually go in. Actually, that should be right over here. No, screen down. But we have covered most of the threat. There still be some. I don't know why I did that. And we will eventually attempt to clear out the sea worms. But, I think we're good for the moment. So we're going to go ahead and go over here and see what we found. I believe I know what this is. Another forked rock for 1 point of oddity experience, bringing us up to 35, 36. Oop. So what we're going to do is bring our speed back down, hard save here. And I'm going to pop Hyper Cerebrix. Oh. Okay. Might need to wait just a bit before popping that then. Ah, there we go. What we're going to do is pop the Hypercerebrix now and probably run into another trap. Eterberen. The man swiftly grabs his spear and assumes a fighting stance. Show him your open palms and try to act as non-threatening as possible. Your peaceful actions do not seem to have the desired effect. He advances forward, skillfully maintaining his distance and keeping himself well behind the deadly tip of his spear, which is now, in turn, getting dangerously close to your own body. So, thanks to having an intelligence of 10, we'll be using Flortsormer, which is one of those cries that the people have been using. The name roots him in place. It does not disarm the man. The spear tip still hovers before you, but instead makes him echo the name, uttering it with great respect and pride. Orskar Flotsormer. Orskar Flotsormer. He echoes it again, louder and louder. Orskar Flotsormer. Orskar Flotsormer. Yeah, I'm not even going to try. So, Orskar Flotsormer. He briefly inspects you, his eyes mostly focused on your upper body. Dernit vertan det separent ot fug mit Flotsormer de Forskaren Polikne. You both stare at each other motionlessly. As the atmosphere begins to cool down, you notice a pleasant smell of crab meat being cooked over a steady, calm fire. The sight of it glimmering so succulently is as inviting as the host wasn't during the first moments of your encounter, but even that seems to be changing. The man slowly crouches next to the fire, places his spear at his feet, and checks the tender meat. He is still quite cautious of you, but seems at ease enough that you may attempt to approach him. Pat your chest, Bacon, then point your finger at him. He observes you with an expressionless countenance. Pat your chest again. Bacon, me. Point at him. You. He hesitates, but then places his hand on his chest and imitates your gesture. Ingvar. Ik Ingvar. De Bacon. So ik is I and der is you. He returns to his work, producing a few skewers made of bone from the leather sack next to him. He seems focused on food preparation, but he's indubitably aware of everything you do. He removes the cooked meat from the fire and replaces it with fresh skewers. Approach him and stand by the fire with him. He shows no objection to you approaching him. Observe. Now that you don't have to worry about him driving a spear between your eyes, you can use the aforementioned eyes to observe him at leisure. For instance, only now do you notice that his left forearm and hand are larger and of less regular shape than his right. The fingers are thicker and somewhat crooked at the joints, making them less dexterous when doing fine, precise work, such as putting meat on or turning the skewers. And the scales on that arm almost form a sturdy reptilian gauntlet. Almost, as there are a few patches of exposed purple-red flesh. There are many other details you noticed. The tattoo on his chest, the same one you keep seeing around, the numerous bony piercings, the quality leather belt and backpack strap, the loincloth made of material much finer and oddly more elegant than the simple furry greaves he's wearing. As you finish examining him, so does he finish examining you. Point at him. Ingvar. He is silent. Ah. Oh, actually, it's the whole thing. Pat your chest. Bacon. Brave. Look as brave as you can. As best you can. Bacon. Smart. Tap your head and hope he gets it. Bacon. Adventurer. Use 2 fingers to imitate a person's legs. A moment passes. Bacon. Eterberen der Etebren, Ingvar, Sormirberen, Ingvar, Skera, Ingvar, Treka. He mimics your walking fingers. So, Sormirberen would be the tribe, Skera would be his rank, or most likely class, whereas we've seen the Skeras and they are the infinitely more well equipped. So they're warriors. And Trekker, either he's saying he's also a traveler or he's a trapper. He picks up his knife, a block made of bone and painted with blood, and approaches the sand. He starts by drawing waves, then ground above it. Tents soon emerge. People and livestock follow. He drives a doming cavern above it all and places himself to the left, where the dome meets the water, far away from his tribe. He rests the knife's point on the drawn version of himself and says, Ingvar, Ingvar. He pats his chest. Bacon. He points to you, then the sand. So I'm going to draw the railroad tracks and the empty roads. Use your finger to draw a network of interweaving roads and railways. You draw gangs, dogs, and rat hounds, the last 2 with little indifference, inhabiting these, and then you add moving trains and broken down quad bikes. He observes your drawing with curiosity, then points at the railway. Bane, Trekagar, Yont Mit Bane. He picks up a few bones and places them parallel to one another. Then, or just like rail ties, he finds this interesting. Bane Trekagar. He looks at the drawing some more, then turns around to check his crab meat. So, by having enough intelligence, we have the ability to start to interpret him and start to navigate our way around the language. But also, the more we go through this, the more terms we're going to get internalized, and then we'll be able to have more options. So, Sormerberen. Ik Sormerberen. I, Sormerberen. He looks and begins pointing at the elements of the village he had drawn, the tents, the people, the livestock. However, he seems unwilling to proceed. Nikki. Perhaps you need to gain his trust a bit more. Point to the livestock in his drawing. Bison? He moves. More? Yes, bison. He grabs his knife and begins observing a herd of furry beasts. Observe. Even though the drawing is fairly crude and low in detail, you notice that he draws each bison, the males, females, and the young, as distinct individual creatures. Some have larger horns, some are taller, and some even draws with a unique fur pattern. From his expression and motions, it appears that he values these creatures greatly. Bison have been given to them from below, it seems, to butcher and consume, use their fur for clothing and tents, tendons for crossbows, and stomachs for holding liquid, bones for everything else. The most beautiful and strongest bison are sacrificed to the serpents of Fort Surmer, thrown into the water to be devoured. Sometimes they are thrown even to the men who are becoming serpents, so that they can tear it apart with their teeth alone. They reproduce quickly, growing to full adulthood in a few years. They are plentiful. Their death is invaluable and irreplaceable. Tell me more about the Sorma Baron. Gesture for him to go on. Okay, not quite yet. Inquire about something else. He is silent. So let's attempt to see what Flotsurmer gets. Orskar Flotsurmer. Flotsurmer. He looks down and begins drawing in the sand, but the runes and various other symbols you are unable to comprehend. Perhaps you need to get more familiar with the Surmabaran culture in order to understand what he's trying to communicate. Okay, point at the dead Psy crab. Krestnit. He points to the sand and then starts reenacting their fight while you keenly observe and try to understand what happened. He had been sleeping when he heard something. Two bent horns were slowly emerging from the sand, sparks popping in and out of existence between them. Ingvar leaped just in time to dodge the first bolt of electricity, grabbing his spear along the way. He threw it, and the spear passed by the second bolt going in the opposite direction. Both projectiles hit their targets, but only one was lethal. It took him a moment to recover from the hit, after which he pulled out his knife and used it to make sure the crab doesn't rise again. Draw the pirate base in the sand. Etir Berin Mek Maskian Ratar. He follows it up with some cursing, while you focus on trying to understand what he means. Your question seems to have evoked strong emotions in him. He frowns and blinks a few times. Then he decapitates all the little jetters with his knife, something he feels they deserve in real life, too. These Etirbaran, or Etirbaran, are to be slain because they are not real warriors. They use machines and aids, yet they prance around his sea as though they were. Decapitate one of the stick pirates yourself. Why don't you kill them? Kill them. He shuts his eyes so tightly it looks as though he wants to crush them with his eyelids, then shields them with both of his arms. Lisborgamen, für Nick, sie kut Lisborgamen. So, Lisborgamen, close and open your eyes. Tell me about it. Nikki. Close and open your eyes again. He spits on the ground and waves you away, following up with some unintelligible cursing. Alright. Bacon. Der Welferin hor nicht. He points to the exit. So, offer him some food. He glances at the food but remains silent. Let him inspect the food and see if he likes anything. He approaches and uses his nose to guide him. After a few moments, he points out to the food that satisfies his olfactory evaluation. Give him an eel sandwich. He takes the food and places it in a sack, nodding once afterwards. After a short pause, he sits by the fire, staring in your direction. Draw the expedition camp in the sand and point at it. What do you know about this? He stares at the drawing but does not appear to recognize anything in it. He does point to the lighthouse, muttering a few unintelligible words to himself before turning to take a look at his crab meat. Okay. And draw the muties. Muties, what do you know about them? He points at the stick figures and spits on them. Slotterbear her dranat bit. He then starts drawing and gesturing. Observe and listen. The weaklings worship another, but another is weak. Instead of giving them strength, like Forsormir gave to the Sormer Baron, Another gave them weakness. Instead of giving them wisdom, he made them dumber than crabs. Instead of giving them perception, he made them senseless. Karen. Why don't you drive them away? Drive away to an... Or you know what? Yeah, let's see what... Why don't you kill them? The Serpent-born could slay them at any time, but those who relay Footsummer's messages say his will is to stay away. They should be left to their great suffering as punishment for their weakness. Okay, what about the ferryman? You can tell he recognizes the name, but he shakes his head still. He's this old guy on a boat. Boatin. Gesture a sailing boat. He spits on the ground. Oh, okay, again. Food. Alright. I will procure some more food off screen. Actually, you know what? We will actually call it here. And we'll pick up with the continued negotiations. So, for the time being, we're going to call it. But I'll see you next time as we try to negotiate with Ingvar a bit more. Y'all take it easy. And thanks as always for watching and hanging out. Hope you enjoyed, and we will eventually get to the end of this journey.